The avocado is a tree native to Mexico and Central America, classified in the flowering plant family Lauraceae along with cinnamon, camphor and bay laurel. Avocado or alligator pear also refers to the fruit, botanically a large berry that contains a single seed. Avocados are commercially valuable and are cultivated in tropical and Mediterranean climates throughout the world. They have a green-skinned, fleshy body that may be pear-shaped, egg-shaped, or spherical. Commercially, they ripen after harvesting. Trees are partially self-pollinating and often are propagated through grafting to maintain a predictable quality and quantity of the fruit. History. Persea americana, or the avocado, is believed to have originated in the state of Puebla, Mexico, though fossil evidence suggests that millions of years ago similar species were much more widespread, occurring as far north as California at a time when the climate of that region was more hospitable to them. The native, undomesticated variety is known as a criollo, and is small, with dark black skin, and contains a large seed. It likely co-evolved with extinct megafauna. The oldest evidence of avocado use was found in a cave located in Coxcatlan, Puebla, Mexico, that dates to around 10,000 BC. The avocado tree also has a long history of cultivation in Central and South America. A water jar shaped like an avocado, dating to AD 900, was discovered in the pre-Incan city of Chan Chan. The earliest known written account of the avocado in Europe is that of Marta N. Fernández de Enciso in 1518 or 1519 in his book, Suma de Geografía que trata de todas las partes y provincias del mundo. The first written record in English of the use of the word avocado was by Hans Sloane in a 1696 Index of Jamaican Plants. The plant was introduced to Indonesia in 1750, Brazil in 1809, South Africa and Australia in the late 1800s, and the Levant in 1908. Etymology: the word avocado comes from the Spanish aguacate, which in turn comes from the Nahuatl word ahuacatl, °C, which goes back to the Proto-Aztec and pa, which also meant avocado. Sometimes the Nahuatl word was used with the meaning testicle, probably because of the likeness between the fruit and the body part. In other Central American and Caribbean Spanish-speaking countries it is known by the Mexican name, while South American Spanish-speaking countries use a Quechua-derived word, polta. In Portuguese it is abacate. The fruit is sometimes called an avocado pear or alligator pear. The Nahuatl ahuacatl can be compounded with other words, as in guacamole, meaning avocado soup or sauce, from which the Spanish word guacamole derives. The modern English name is not etymologically related to the similar-sounding Spanish word abogado, meaning lawyer, but comes through an English rendering of the Spanish aguacate as avocato. The earliest known written use in English is attested from 1697 as avocado pear, a term which was later corrupted as alligator pear. Because the word avocado sounded like advocate, several languages reinterpreted it to have the meaning. French uses avocat, which also means lawyer, and advocate forms of the word appear in several Germanic languages, such as the German advocato birne, the Old Danish advocat pari and the Dutch advocaatpeer. It is known as butterfruit in parts of India. In eastern China it is known as a Lauraceae cubed ugaik. In Taiwan, it is known as La to the first ola. Cultivation. The tree grows to 20 am, with alternately arranged leaves 12 cm × 25 cm long. The flowers are inconspicuous, greenish-yellow, 5 mm × 10 mm wide. The pear-shaped fruit is 7 cm × 20 cm long, weighs between 100 grams × 1000 grams, and has a large central seed, 5 cm × 6.4 cm long. The subtropical species needs a climate without frost and with little wind. High winds reduce the humidity, dehydrate the flowers, and affect pollination. When even a mild frost occurs, premature fruit drop may occur, although the cultivar can tolerate temperatures down to a 1 degree Celsius. The trees also need well-aerated soils, ideally more than 1 m deep. Yield is reduced when the irrigation water is highly saline. These soil and climate conditions are available only in a few areas of the world, particularly in southern Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Crete, the Levant, South Africa, Colombia, Peru, parts of central and northern Chile, Vietnam, Indonesia, parts of southern India, Sri Lanka, Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Central America, the Caribbean, Mexico, California, Arizona, Puerto Rico, Texas, Florida, Hawaii, Ecuador and Rwanda. Each region has different types of cultivars. Harvest and post-harvest, commercial orchards produce an average of 7 tons per hectare each year, with some orchards achieving 20 tons per hectare. Biennial bearing can be a problem, with heavy crops in one year being followed by poor yields the next. The avocado tree does not tolerate freezing temperatures, and can be grown only in subtropical or tropical climates. There are several cold-hardy varieties planted in the region of Gainesville, Florida, which survive temperatures as low as a 6.5 degrees Celsius with only minor leaf damage. The avocado is a climacteric fruit, which means it matures on the tree, but ripens off the tree. Avocados used in commerce are picked hard and green and kept in coolers at 3.3 to 5.6 degrees Celsius until they reach their final destination. Avocados must be mature to ripen properly. Avocados that fall off the tree ripen on the ground. Generally, the fruit is picked once it reaches maturity. Mexican growers pick Hass variety avocados when they have more than 23% dry matter, and other producing countries have similar standards. Once picked, avocados ripen in 1 to 2 weeks at room temperature. Some supermarkets sell pre-ripened avocados which have been treated with synthetic ethylene to hasten ripening. The use of an ethylene gas ripening room, which is now an industry standard, was pioneered in the 1980s by farmer Gil Henry of Escondido, California, in response to footage from a hidden supermarket camera which showed shoppers repeatedly squeezing hard, ripe avocados, putting them back in the bin, and moving on without making a purchase. In some cases avocados can be left on the tree for several months, which is an advantage to commercial growers who seek the greatest return for their crop. But if the fruit remains unpicked for too long it falls to the ground. Breeding. The species is only partially able to self-pollinate because of dichogamy in its flowering. This limitation, added to the long juvenile period, makes the species difficult to breed. Most cultivars are propagated via grafting, having originated from random seedling plants or minor mutations derived from cultivars. Modern breeding programs tend to use isolation plots where the chances of cross-pollination are reduced. That is the case for programs at the University of California, Riverside, as well as the Volcani Center and the Instituto de Investigaciones Agropecuarias in Chile. The avocado is unusual in that the timing of the male and female flower phases differs among cultivars. There are 2 flowering types, A and B. A cultivar flowers open as female on the morning of the first day and close in late morning or early afternoon. Then they open as male in the afternoon of the second day. B varieties open as female on the afternoon of the first day, close in late afternoon and reopen as male the following morning. A cultivars, Hass, Gwen, Lamb Hass, Pinkerton, Reed. B cultivars, Fewett, Shawell, Zutano, Bacon, Ettinger, Surprise, Walter Hall. Certain cultivars, such as the Hass, have a tendency to bear well only in alternate years. After a season with a low yield, due to factors such as cold, the trees tend to produce abundantly the next season. In addition, due to environmental circumstances during some years, seedless avocados may appear on the trees. Known in the avocado industry as cukes, they are usually discarded commercially due to their small size. Propagation and rootstocks. Avocados can be propagated by seed, taking roughly 4 to 6 years to bear fruit, although in some cases seedlings can take 10 years to come into bearing. The offspring is unlikely to be identical to the parent cultivar in fruit quality. Prime quality varieties are therefore propagated by grafting to rootstocks that are propagated by seed or by layering. After about a year of growing in a greenhouse, the young rootstocks are ready to be grafted. terminal and lateral grafting is normally used. The scion cultivar grows for another 6–12 months before the tree is ready to be sold. Clonal rootstocks are selected for tolerance of specific soil and disease conditions, such as poor soil aeration or resistance to the soil-borne disease caused by Phytophthora. Growing indoors, usually, avocados are grown from pits indoors. This is often done by removing the pit from a ripe, unrefrigerated avocado. The pit is then stabbed with 3 or 4 toothpicks, about 1/3 of the way up. The pit is placed in a jar or vase containing tepid water. It should split in 4 to 6 weeks and yield roots and a sprout. If there is no change by this time, the avocado pit is discarded. Once the stem has grown a few inches, it is placed in a pot with soil. It should be watered every few days. Avocados have been known to grow large, so owners must be ready to repot the plant several times. Diseases. Avocado trees are vulnerable to bacterial, viral, fungal and nutritional diseases. Disease can affect all parts of the plant, causing spotting, rotting, cankers, pitting and discoloration. Cultivation in California. The avocado was introduced from Mexico to California in the 19th century, and has become a successful cash crop. About 59,000 acres some 95% of United States avocado production is located in Southern California, with 60% in San Diego County. Fallbrook, California, claims the title of avocado capital of the world, and both Fallbrook and Carpinteria, California, host annual avocado festivals. Cultivation in Mexico. Mexico produces most of the world's avocado, and avocado is one of the primary cultivars for export, the 8th cultivar by production volume. In 2013 the total area dedicated to avocado production was 168,155 hectares, and the harvest was of 1,109,814 tons. The states that produce the most are copyright Zico, Morelos, Nayarit, Puebla, and Michoacán, which accounts for 86% of the total. In Michoacán the cultivation is complicated by the existence of drug cartels that extort protection fees from cultivators. They are reported to exact 2,000 Mexican pesos per hectare from avocado farmers and an additional 1 pesos to 3 pesos per kilo of harvested fruit. A cultivars. Chiquette, a seedling from Miami, Florida, on the property of Remy Chiquette. Now a favored commercial cultivar in South Florida. Hass. While dozens of cultivars are grown, the Hass avocado is today the most common. It produces fruit year-round and accounts for 80% of cultivated avocados in the world. All Hass avocado trees are descended from a single mother tree raised by a male carrier named Rudolph Hass, of La Habra Heights, California. Hass patented the productive tree in 1935. The mother tree, of uncertain subspecies, died of root rot and was cut down in September, 2002. Hass trees have medium-sized, ovate fruit with a black, pebbled skin. The flesh is a nutty, rich flavor with 19% oil. A hybrid Guatemalan type can withstand temperatures to a 1 degree Celsius. Gwen, a seedling bred from Hass Exthil in 1982, Gwen is higher yielding and more dwarfing than Hass in California. The fruit has an oval shape, slightly smaller than Hass, with a rich, nutty flavor. The skin texture is more finely pebbled than Hass, and is dull green when ripe. It is frost-hardy down to a 1 degree Celsius. Lula, a seedling reportedly grown from a Taft avocado planted in Miami, Florida, on the property of George Sellon, named after Sellon's wife, Lula. It was likely a cross between Mexican and Guatemalan types. Lula was recognized for its flavor and high oil content and propagated commercially in Florida. It is also very commonly used as a rootstock for nursery production. Hardy to a 4 degree Celsius, Pinkerton, first grown on the Pinkerton Ranch in Saticoy, California, in the early 1970s, Pinkerton is a seedling of Hass's rincon. The large fruit has a small seed, and its green skin deepens in color as it ripens. The thick flesh has a smooth, creamy texture, pale green color, good flavor and high oil content. It shows some cold tolerance, to a 1 degree Celsius and bears consistently heavy crops. A hybrid Guatemalan type, it has excellent peeling characteristics. Reed, developed from a chance seedling found in 1948 by James S. Reed in California. Reed has large, round, green fruit with a smooth texture and dark, thick, glossy skin. Smooth and delicate, the flesh has a slightly nutty flavor. The skin ripens green. A Guatemalan type, it is hardy to a 1 degree Celsius. Tree size is about 5 by 4 meters. B. Cultivars, Bacon, developed by a farmer, James Bacon, in 1954. Bacon has medium-sized fruit with smooth, green skin with yellow-green, light-tasting flesh. When ripe, the skin remains green, but darkens slightly, and fruit yields to gentle pressure. It is cold hardy down to a 5 degree Celsius. Brogdon, possibly a cross between Mexican and West Indian types, Brogdon originated as a seedling grown in Winter Haven, Florida on the property of Tom W. Brogdon. The variety was recognized for its cold hardiness to a 5 degree Celsius and became commercially propagated as nursery stock for home growing. It is noted for its dark purple skin at maturity. Ettinger, a Mexican-Guatemalan cross seedling of Fuet, this cultivar originated in Israel, and was put into production there in 1947. Mature trees tolerate 4 hours at a 6 degree Celsius. The fruit has a smooth, thin, green skin that does not peel easily. The flesh is very pale green. Fuet, a Mexican-Guatemalan cross originating in Puebla, the Fuet earned its name, which means strong in Spanish, after it withstood a severe frost in California in 1913. Hardy to a 3 degree Celsius, it is medium-sized, pear-shaped fruit with a green, leathery, easy-to-peel skin. The creamy flesh of mild and rich flavor has 18% oil. The skin ripens green. Tree size is 6 by 4 meters. Monroe, a Guatemalan West Indian cross that originated from a seedling grown in Homestead, Florida on the property of J. L. Phillips. It was patented in 1937 and became a major commercial cultivar due to its cold hardiness and production qualities. The fruit is large, averaging over 2 pounds in weight, has an elliptical shape, and green, glossy skin. Hardy to a 3 degree Celsius. Shawil, predominantly Guatemalan, with some Mexican race genes, Shawil was selected in 1951 by Sir Frank Sharp at Reedland Bay, southern Queensland, Australia. The name Shawil is an amalgamation of Sharp and Wilson. Scions were sent from Australia to Hawaii in 1966. A medium-sized fruit with rough green skin, it closely resembles the Fuet, but is slightly more oval in shape. The fruit has greenish-yellow flesh with a rich, nutty flavor and high oil content, and a small seed. The skin is green when ripe. It represents more than 57% of the commercial farming in Hawaii, and represents up to 20% of all avocados grown in New South Wales, Australia. It is a regular and moderate bearer with excellent quality fruit, but is sensitive to frost. Disease and pest resistance are superior to Fuet. Zutano, originated by R. L. Ruitt in Fallbrook in 1926, this Mexican variety is hardy to a 4 degree Celsius. The large, pear-shaped fruit has a shiny, thin, yellow-green skin that peels moderately easily. The flesh is pale green with fibers and has a light flavor. Other avocado cultivars include Spinks. The fruit of the cultivar Florida, grown mostly outside California, is larger and rounder, with a smooth, medium green skin, and a less fatty, firmer and fibrous flesh. These are occasionally marketed as low-calorie avocados. Historically attested varieties include the Challenge, Dickinson, Kist, Queen, Ray, Royal, Sharpless, and Taft. Avocado-related international trade issues. After the North American Free Trade Agreement went into effect in 1994, Mexico tried exporting avocados to the U.S. The U.S. government resisted, claiming the trade would introduce tephritidæ fruit flies that would destroy California's crops. The Mexican government responded by inviting USDA inspectors to Mexico, but the U.S. government declined, claiming fruit fly inspection was not feasible. The Mexican government then proposed to sell avocados only to the northeastern U.S. in the winter. The U.S. government balked, but gave in when the Mexican government started erecting barriers to U.S. corn. Today, avocados from Mexico are allowed throughout the U.S., because USDA inspectors in Michoacán inspected fruit in Uruapan. Imports from Mexico in the 2005-2006 season exceeded 130,000 metric tons. In 2009, Peru joined Chile and Mexico as an exporter of avocados to the U.S. In the U.S., avocados are grown in California and Florida, where land, labor and water are expensive. Avocado trees require frequent, deep watering to bear optimally, particularly in spring, summer, and fall. Due to increased Southern Californian water costs, they are now costly to grow. California produces 90% of the United States avocados. As of 2013, Mexico leads international exports, with other significant production in California, New Zealand, Peru and South Africa. Culinary uses. The fruit of horticultural cultivars has a markedly higher fat content than most other fruit, mostly monounsaturated fat, and as such serves as an important staple in the diet of various groups where access to other fatty foods is limited. A ripe avocado yields to gentle pressure when held in the palm of the hand and squeezed. The flesh is prone to enzymatic browning. It turns brown quickly after exposure to air. To prevent this, lime or lemon juice can be added to avocados after they are peeled. The fruit is not sweet, but rich, and distinctly yet subtly flavored, and of smooth, almost creamy texture. It is used in both savory and sweet dishes, though in many countries not for both. The avocado is very popular in vegetarian cuisine, as substitute for meats in sandwiches and salads because of its high fat content. Generally, avocado is served raw, though some cultivars, including the common Hass, can be cooked for a short time without becoming bitter. Caution should be used when cooking with untested cultivars. The flesh of some avocados may be rendered inedible by heat. Prolonged cooking induces this chemical reaction in all cultivars. It is used as the base for the Mexican dip known as guacamole, as well as a spread on corn tortillas or toast, served with spices. In the Philippines, Brazil, Indonesia, Vietnam, and southern India, avocados are frequently used for milkshakes and occasionally added to ice cream and other desserts. In Brazil, Vietnam, the Philippines and Indonesia, a dessert drink is made with sugar, milk or water, and pureed avocado. Chocolate syrup is sometimes added. In Morocco, there is a similar chilled avocado and milk drink, that is sweetened with confectioner's sugar and hinted with orange flower water. In Ethiopia, avocados are made into juice by mixing them with sugar and milk or water, usually served with vimto and a slice of lemon. It is also very common to serve layered multiple fruit juices in a glass made of avocados, mangoes, bananas, guavas and papayas. Avocados are also used to make salads. Avocados in savory dishes, often seen as exotic, are a relative novelty in Portuguese-speaking countries, such as Brazil, where the traditional preparation is mashed with sugar and lime, and eaten as a dessert or snack. This contrasts with Spanish-speaking countries such as Chile, Mexico or Argentina, where the opposite is true and sweet preparations are often unheard of. In Australia and New Zealand, it is commonly served in sandwiches, sushi, on toast, or with chicken. In Ghana, it is often eaten alone in sliced bread as a sandwich. In Sri Lanka, well-ripened flesh, thoroughly mashed with sugar and milk, or treacle was once a popular dessert. In Haiti it is often consumed with cassava or regular bread for breakfast. In Mexico and Central America, avocados are served mixed with white rice, in soups, salads, or on the side of chicken and meat. In Peru, they are consumed with taqui plus or minus ozas mayonnaise, served as a side dish with parillas, used in salads and sandwiches, or as a whole dish when filled with tuna, shrimp, or chicken. In Chile, it is used as a puree-like sauce with chicken, hamburgers, and hot dogs. And in slices for celery or lettuce salads. The Chilean version of Caesar salad contains large slices of mature avocado. In Kenya and Nigeria, the avocado is often eaten as a fruit, and is eaten alone, or mixed with other fruits in a fruit salad, or as part of a vegetable salad. In Iran, it is used as a rejuvenating facial cream. Avocado slices are frequently added to hamburgers, tortas, hot dogs, and carne asada. Avocado can be combined with eggs, and is a key ingredient in California rolls and other makizushi. In southern Africa, avocado ritz is a common dish. In the United Kingdom, the avocado became widely available in the 1960s when it was introduced by Sainsbury's under the name avocado pear. Nutritional value: avocados have diverse fats. For a typical avocado, about 75% of an avocado's energy comes from fat, most of which is monounsaturated fat as oleic acid. Other predominant fats include palmitic acid and linoleic acid. The saturated fat content amounts to 14% of the total fat. Typical total fat composition is roughly 1% AI per mil-3, 14% AI per mil-6, 71% AI per mil-9 and 14% saturated fat. On a weight basis, avocados have 35% more potassium than bananas. They are rich in folic acid and vitamin K, and are good dietary sources of vitamin B6, vitamin C, vitamin E and pantothenic acid. Avocados have a high fiber content of 75% insoluble and 25% soluble fiber. High avocado intake was shown in one preliminary study to lower blood cholesterol levels. Specifically, after a 7-day diet rich in avocados, mild hypercholesterolemia patients showed a 17% decrease in total serum cholesterol levels. These subjects also showed a 22% decrease in both LDL and triglyceride levels and 11% increase in HDL levels. A 2013 epidemiological report funded by the House Avocado Board showed that American avocado consumers had better overall diet quality, nutrient levels, and reduced risk of metabolic syndrome. Extracts of avocado have been studied in laboratory research to assess potential for lowering risk of diabetes mellitus. A Japanese team synthesized the 4 chiral components of avocado, and identified 16 heptates N1, 2, 4 trial as a potential antibacterial component. Due to a combination of specific aliphatic acidogenins, avocado is under preliminary research for potential anti-cancer activity. As a houseplant. While not particularly popular, the avocado tree can be grown domestically and used as a houseplant. The pit germinates in normal soil conditions or partially submerged in a small glass of water. In the latter method, the pit sprouts in 4 to 6 weeks, at which time it is planted in standard houseplant potting soil. The plant normally grows large enough to be pruneable. However, it does not bear fruit unless it has ample sunlight. Home gardeners can graft a branch from a fruit-bearing plant to speed maturity, which typically takes 4 to 6 years to bear fruit. To obtain fresh avocado produce, however, more than one tree must be cultivated for cross-pollination. Allergies: some people have allergic reactions to avocado. There are 2 main forms of allergy. Those with a tree pollen allergy develop local symptoms in the mouth and throat shortly after eating avocado. The second, known as latex fruit syndrome, is related to latex allergy and symptoms include generalized urticaria, abdominal pain, and vomiting and can sometimes be life-threatening. Toxicity to animals: avocado leaves, bark, skin, or pit are documented to be harmful to animals. Cats, dogs, cattle, goats, rabbits, rats, guinea pigs, birds, fish, and horses can be severely harmed or even killed when they consume them. The avocado fruit is poisonous to some birds, and the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals lists it as toxic to many animals including cats, dogs, and horses. Avocado leaves contain a toxic fatty acid derivative, persin, which in sufficient quantity can cause colic in horses and, without veterinary treatment, death. The symptoms include gastrointestinal irritation, vomiting, diarrhea, respiratory distress, congestion, fluid accumulation around the tissues of the heart, and even death. Birds also seem to be particularly sensitive to this toxic compound. A line of premium dog and cat food, Avocados, uses oils and meal made from avocado meat as main ingredients. The manufacturer says the avocado's leaves and pit are the source of toxicity, and only in the Guatemalan variety of avocados, and the fruit is often eaten by orchard dogs as well as wildlife such as bears and coyotes. Coevolution. In 1982, the evolutionary biologist Daniel H. Jansen suggested that the avocado may be an example of an evolutionary anachronism, a fruit adapted for ecological relationship with now extinct large mammals. Most large fleshy fruits serve the function of seed dispersal, accomplished by their consumption by large animals. There are some reasons to think that the fruit, with its mildly toxic pit, may have co-evolved with plasticine megafauna to be swallowed whole and excreted in their dung, ready to sprout. No extant native animal is large enough to effectively disperse avocado seeds in this fashion. See also, avocado oil, Florida lime and avocado growers, Incorporated v. Poor, recalcitrant seed, references. Further reading, Bruce Schaffer, B. Nigel Wolstenholme and Anthony W. Halley, ed. The Avocado, Botany, Production and Uses. CABI. ISBN A9781845937010. External links, media related to Persea americana at Wikimedia Commons, the dictionary definition of avocado at Wiktionary, definitive illustrated list of avocado varieties, California rare fruit growers, avocados beyond Persea americana, avocado nutrition information from USDA National Nutrient Database.